Let's make pizza dough
Gonna start.
with 3 cups of lukewarm water.
Don't really measure this. Just gonna use my trusty old school spoon. Gonna add some honey to the water. Big old heaping spoonful. There we go. Right in there. Get that going. All right, while that's kind of dissolving, I'm going to get my dry ingredients. I have made this with all AP, all XX, combinations of those. I've kind of settled on half and half AP and bread flour. Gives a good chew, good texture. These are my favorites, but I've made it with all different kinds of flour and it always turns out great. So, simple. 3 cups of water, 6 cups of flour. Gonna do 3 and 3 on the flour. One cool thing about this dough, no mixer needed. It's so simple too. Then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of yeast. Two teaspoons of salt. Mix that up a little bit. Just get the dry ingredients combined. I'm sure all the real chefs out there are going to tell me I'm doing this all wrong and everything, but I can tell you this, it turns out really, really good and makes some kick-ass pizza. Got the honey really well dissolved in the water. This is just lukewarm, not hot, not cold, just lukewarm. We're going to go straight in. And then we're going to use the trusty old school spoon. I think it might have been my grandmother's, I don't know. And we're just going to mix. And this is going to make a ratty, wet dough. All I want to do here is just get it combined. Don't really want to work it, just want to get it combined. Takes a little elbow grease to kind of get it going. You just want to get all the powder in there. And there's my wife walking right in front of the camera. She just can't stand it. She's got to be part of the video. And what you're going to end up with is just a really wet, sticky dough. You just want to get it good and combined, and that's it, that's all. Just get all the flour combined in the water, and then we're just going to cover it with trusty plastic wrap. Can't stand the waste in here. That's me. I'm silly. And just cover it with plastic wrap. Let it sit till it doubles or so on the counter. And there we go. That's the starter pizza dough. Now it's just got to sit and double. I'll punch it down and kind of form a ball out of it, let it double again, then punch it down, really make a ball out of it, put it in a clean bowl with olive oil in the fridge overnight. And I don't know, maybe I'll video some more and show you the rest. Let's see if it doubled in size. What do you think? Oh yeah. Sticky, 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 like I told you it would be. This is the part where I'm sure that a real chef is going to think I'm crazy, but I'm adding flour to it to get it where you can mess with it. And I end up at a consistency that I can work with in the end, which is weird, but it makes good pizza, guarantee you. And yeah, you're gonna make a mess. Just how it is. As long as it tastes good, no one cares. And that's just so I can punch it a little bit. Look how alive it is too, look at the bubbles. This probably looks completely ridiculous, but this is how I do it. I try to kind of get it into a ball a little bit. Just plop it right back down in there. And we're going to cover that with plastic wrap and let it double again. Okay, so I skipped over showing you punching down the dough and reforming it into a ball a couple of times. But what you end up with after letting it rise twice on the counter at room temperature over the course of a whole day, and then punching it down into a ball, letting it proof in the fridge overnight, and then punching it down one more time, you end up with this beautiful ball of easily handleable, workable dough. Gonna let it proof in the fridge all day today, and then tonight is pizza night. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So now I'm gonna separate it and make 4 balls to make pizza tonight. I'm gonna kind of show you what I do to work those. I'll just get it out of the bowl. Got some flour on the counter so it doesn't stick. And then I try to split it as evenly as I can manage. And try to go in half. And then half again. Kind of pick them up, like they're pretty even. Those actually feel pretty even. So I get them kind of floured up a little bit. I'm gonna do some folds, probably about 6 or 8. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. End up folding it towards a ball. And just ball that baby up. Pinch it together real good on the bottom. Make sure it's a nice ball. Right on this nice floured baking sheet. We're gonna do the same thing with all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, look how live it is, that bubble. Let's make a nice ball out of that. Right on that floured surface there. With this one, you get the idea. We're gonna do that with all of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be real good. Beautiful balls. My buddy Brian would be stoked about that. Beautiful balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that bubble. 7, 8. Flour there. Scrape all the flour up. Get some, especially between them where they touch, so they don't stick. Cover those bad boys up. And, put a towel over them. We're gonna let that sit for at least a couple of hours, and then later tonight, pizza time. Okay, tomato sauce, super simple. I always try to make this right after I get the dough set up in balls where it can proof on the counter. So I usually use some kind of really good whole peeled tomatoes. What I'll do, got my trusty old school spoon. Tastes better if you use the right old school, got some sole spoon. It matters, it does. So I try to get the tomatoes out sort of one by one with some of the juice, but not all of it. Save that juice for crust dipping later. This is just how I do it. I'm not saying it's right. This is how I do it. Alright, so that's got mostly all the tomatoes out. So I want to do them by hand. I'll poke a good hole in them with my thumb, because if you don't and you squeeze one, it'll squirt everywhere, all over you. But I get them all kind of broken up before you really start squeezing them, just because that, like I said, it'll squirt you if you're not careful with it. And once you've kind of just smashed them all up to whatever desire you like, you can use a tomato or a potato masher to do this if you really want to, but I just like doing it by hand. I think it tastes better, kind of like that whole old school soul spoon. Do it with your hands, you're putting a little more love in it probably, maybe. I just try to get all the big chunks kind of squeezed out. See, I got it all over the place because it just, even though I've already got them broken up, it's still. But so that's how we do that. I'm gonna add a couple of cloves of minced up garlic here. Just drop that right in. Gonna go in with some fresh basil, just tear it into little pieces. Hand tear it, you know, again. Got that soul going in there. Tastes better when you do it that way. And again, not looking for perfection here, just tearing it up, kind of gets the flavor going. You know, you can put 2 leaves, 3 leaves, 10, whatever. I think I got 7 this time. 7's a lucky number. Ask Prince, he wrote a song about it. Again, this is all just a taste. When you get done, stir it up, taste it, see what you get. Try to tear them up in kind of small chunks too, though, so hopefully you get a little bit of basil in every little thing. I'm gonna rinse my hands off real quick before I get into the salt and pepper. Fresh cracked black. Probably thinking that's a lot of pepper. I like pepper. Go in with a little salt, not too much, but then again, sole spoon. And we're just gonna stir that up. And again, I like to do this ahead of time. You know, let it sit, let the flavors meld while the dough is proofing. Don't go too crazy with it. If there's any chunks you don't like, get them mixed up. And there you go. I'm just gonna let that sit while the dough proofs, and in a couple hours, pizza time. So after all the mixing, punching down, rising, overnight in the fridge, strength folding, and then letting proof on the counter, this is what we end up with. I'm all set up to make some pizza. Here we go. Everybody can see that. I usually do 550. Got the Vibrament Stone in there. And so this is it. This is what the dough looks like when it's time to work with it. That's after proofing on the counter for 2.5 hours or something after being in the fridge. But that's how we do it. Dogs barking. I gave up a long time ago on trying to throw the dough around and get all pretty with it. Just, you know what? Make a pizza that tastes good. Don't worry about the theatrics. Pizza sauce we made earlier, here we go. Boom. And in just a quick 8 minutes, we got this.